And a very beautiful example is the example of Sulaiman bin Yasar. A few incidents I have in front of us in our talk. The first incident is the incident of Sulaiman bin Yasar. He was a great scholar of his time, and he was very handsome. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had granted him such beauty that me and you can only dream of. So this person one day is at home, and the beauty of Sulaiman bin Yasar was famous. So this lady, she enters his house, and she locks the door. She comes inside his house, she locks the door, and she says to him that only me and you are here alone, and I wish to commit adultery with you. I wish to commit zina with you. Sulaiman bin Yasar, when he sees her, he runs toward the door, he pushes the lock open, and he runs outside. This lady's chasing him, he's outside the house. That night when he goes to sleep, he sees in his dream Yusuf alayhi salam. And Yusuf alayhi salam congratulates him. That this is the very same thing I did. Congratulations to you that you also ran away from this lady. So when a person is in this position, we have to work on our iman, that our iman is strong enough. Beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we never reach this position in our life, or we're never in a corner that we're locked out, that there's nowhere we can run. And if we do, if this day ever does come in our life, that we find there's no way out, our iman comes and helps us. Our iman will help us inshaAllah through these difficulties. Whether it be when we're alone in our room, whether it be while we're dropping that, we're glancing at the opposite gender as something that is haram, whether it's when it's listening to something haram, when we are surrounded by our desires, it is our iman then that will pull us out. A person is watching the movie, he's in the middle of the movie, or a person that's listening to songs, he's been listening to songs for 4 or 5 hours, or a person that he has the habit of swearing, or he's in the middle of the sin. And then his iman says to him, you know what? I'm going to pull you out. He then feels the guilt in the middle of the sin and he says, you know what? I'm going to stop right now and I'm going to use my iman, the power of my iman to stand up again. And while him and his friends are sitting there watching that movie, this person stands up. And he walks out of that room and he takes a seat in another room there. Or he walks out and goes away and goes and does something else. This person's iman is very strong. And this is the iman every single one of us should have. If our iman can pull us out of the small scenarios and the small sins that we commit throughout our life, or the daily sins that we face in our life, if our iman can pull us out of these sins, then inshaAllah al-Aziz, our iman will also pull us out of these things. But if our iman is such that we cannot even stand up to a single sin, or the smallest sin drops us to our feet and we can't stand up again, then the reality is that it's very hard to say whether our iman will save us on that day or not when we're in the ultimate trial, we're in the ultimate test, when we are standing in the ultimate test. Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu narrates the incident from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet narrates that there were 3 people, they were traveling. The very famous incident, Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi narrates this incident in his Sahih. 3 people are traveling and nighttime came, so they went inside the cave to take rest. When they were in the cave, a big boulder covered the mouth of the cave. They woke up, they realized that they were locked in the cave now. They couldn't push the boulder out, so more or less they were dying in that cave. So they said, let's pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Creator. And let us remind and remember ourselves a deed that we did only and only for the pleasure of Allah, and put it before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a sacrifice. That, oh Allah, this was a deed that we did in our life, and we hope through the grace of this deed you move this boulder. So the first person, he begins to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, oh Allah, I had 2 parents, and I remember one day this person had a farm, and he would milk the cows, and then after milking the cows, he would bring milk home. And the first person he would serve his milk to were his parents, respect for parents. The first person he would serve his milk to were parents. The first money, the first check we get, or every check we gain, the first person we should spend it on is our parents. If we ever earn any money in our life, the first person we should spend our money on is none other than our mom and dad. This hadith right here is proof of this. So this person says that I came back from work after a heavy day of working in the fields with the animals, and I brought this cup of milk for my parents. That day he was late because the work he had an extra load on himself. So when he came back from work, he brought this bowl of milk, and the first person he would serve was his parents. So he went and he found his mom and dad, his mother and father were sleeping. So now he wishes to serve his mom and dad, but they're sleeping. At the same time, his children are crying at his feet asking for milk. He tells his wife, take the children to another room, pull them to the side. If my parents wake up, it'll cause them disturbance. And the wife takes his children to the side. He's standing there with milk for his parents. He's waiting for his parents to drink. At the same time, he wishes not to disturb their sleep. He stands there the entire night, and when they wake up in the morning, he gives them milk first, and then he goes and gives it to his children. He says to Allah, oh Allah, I did this deed only and only for your pleasure, for no one else but you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He accepts this deed of his, and the boulder moves a little, and there's a little gap in the cave. They try to push themselves out, they're stuck, they need some more space. So the second person, he stands up, and he says, oh Allah, I was crazy over my cousin. You know, many of us think it's permissible to hang and chill with the cousins. So he said, I was crazy over my cousin too. And what happened was I wished to commit adultery with her, to commit zina with her. But I couldn't find the perfect chance. Then what happened was a drought hit our community, our city, our town. Everyone was hungry, everyone was starving. So she came to me to ask me for food, ask me for money. So I gave her 120 ashrafis, which was a currency at the time. And I told her, in return, you must commit adultery with me in order to gain these 120 ashrafis. She said that she was in dire need of the money. So she proposed herself, or she gave herself into the person, into her cousin, to this person who's making the dua. This person said that I was just about to commit this evil act with her when she said to me, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before you do this. He said, when I heard these words come out of her mouth, I withdrawed myself and I moved away. And just, oh Allah, only and only because of you, because of your fear, I did this for your pleasure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He moved the boulder a little more, and there was a little bit more gap. They needed more space to get out. So the third person made dua, oh Allah, I recall one deed of mine that I put before you, that I had workers, these people that would work for me. And one day after their contract finished, I was giving each person their money, their pay. And there was one person that was left behind. I didn't have enough money to give to him, or he didn't take his money. This person left. And now when this person returned to me after years to take his money, one day this person came to me and he said to me, where's my money? I said to him, I pointed towards the field and I said, everything in this field is yours. So when he turned towards the field, he saw that there were many animals, many horses, many cows, many goats. There were people running the horses, there were slaves there. He said, are you joking with me? I only did a little job for you, where's my little money? So he told this person that, that money that I had of yours, I invested it into my business. And this is the profit I gained from your money. All of this belongs to you. He said, oh Allah, I could have cheated that person, but only and only for your pleasure. I give that person his right. Oh Allah, help us. And the boulder moved away, and these people exited the cave. So saving a person that controls himself at that time, the person's iman should be that strong, that he is able to control himself. We should work on our iman from the very first day. These small sins, when they come to us, we have to move them away. The small deeds, we should adopt them. The small sins, we should push them away. And fortify ourselves and make ourselves very strong, so that when the day comes that shaitan comes to us with the big test, he cannot affect us. There was a big scholar, his name was Allama Miski rahmatullahi alayhi. Allama Miski. Misk is a type of perfume. In Arabic, mushk, or in Urdu we know it as mushk, or in English we call it musk. So it's a type of perfume. So the reason why he was called Allama Miski rahmatullahi alayhi, the reason why he was called Allama Miski, because he always had fragrance that was coming out of his body and would spread throughout the gathering. Every gathering he came to, the gathering would smell would become fragrant, would smell very good. So one day someone asked him, that how did you get this fragrance coming out of your body? So he said, let me tell you how. He said, when I was young, I was a student, and I would go to study to the madrasa every day. And on the way there was this lady who lived there. And every day when she saw me, her urge to come and commit adultery with me would increase. So one day what happened was, she cornered me off, she brought me inside her house, and she was about to commit adultery with me. And what I did was I said to her, before I commit adultery, I need to relieve myself. I need to go to the washroom. So I went inside the washroom, and when I went in the washroom, there and that time they didn't have the sewer system, how we had to press the flush and it's all gone. The remains would pile up on the side. In the evening, one of the slaves would come and take it and put it on the side in the dump yard. So he said, when I went in the washroom, all of their filth was gathered together in one area. I took this filth and I smudged it all over my body. All this dirt, all this pakhana, I put it all over my body. And I came up to this lady outside the door. When she saw me, she was disgusted. What are you doing? What happened to you? Booth, what has happened to you right now? So this person, he then walked out of the door and he left. He said, I left this place, I went to a river, I went inside the river and I bathed, I cleaned myself. When I washed away this filth, he said, in return, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted me fragrance. And this is Allama Miski rahmatullahi alayhi, the person that was known for his fragrance. Even after he passed away, he was one of the few scholars that after he passed away, the fragrance remained to come from his grave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted these people with such blessings. A person that can be strong, and once we're past this phase of youth, then a person is strong in his soul. I'm content with my family, with my wife, I control myself. Okay, that's something. But a person that's in the trial right now, he is in his youth. Every single day we go to college and we are surrounded by these temptations, and then we stand up and show our iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive this person. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help this person.